Fred Nile is up for election this year, and looks like the campaign is up and running. He's working his publicity machine beautifully. Last week, he talked about the men who ran out of the Martin Place siege and that they shouldn't be getting bravery awards. And surprisingly, I talked to Fred. I think he was the first person to speak about this on this program. He had a chat to me about it. Surprisingly, he got a lot of support. A lot of people saying, I've never agreed with Fred Nile before, but I think he's onto this one. I think even that support surprised the Reverend. But he's now come out, flicked the switch to nutbag, and said that childcare centres are like orphanages and that mums should be at home with the kids, and that is it. Yes, that's how you live your life, isn't it, girls? You keep the fence white, keep the lawns green, vote for Robert Menzies, have dinner on the table for your bloke, have a beer when he walks through the door, and the rest of the time just keep your trap shut. This is Fred Nile, as he was talking with John and Gary on 2UE's breakfast program this morning.
What do you mean by day orphanages?
Well, it just means that there's no impact, no input by the mother and the father, which happens when a child doesn't have parents. They're an orphan. So it's far better if we can organise our society economically that the mother can provide mother care, which is the best care for a child. And our society has been discriminating against the mother who wants to stay at home.
You're saying, though, that the sort of care that children receive in the home from their mothers is far better than what they would receive in childcare centres with trained workers.
Well, it's been proved by survey after survey. There's no one-on-one care for a child in a childcare centre.
I think I'd love your thoughts on Fred, 1332. Dear old bloke. At 80 years old, he was going so well, but with all this orphanage talk, maybe he's been reading a little too much Dickens or watching Annie on video at home.
It's the hard knock life for us. It's the hard knock life for us. Instead of treated, we get tricked. Instead of kisses, we get kicked.
Yes, that's Fred's idea of an orphan. They run around in rags and they eat millet out of a bowl and they sing songs every chance they can get. I think he's actually... I make a serious point. I actually think he's insulting orphans here. Because orphans would, at that age, would love the thought of a loving parent coming to pick them up after a few hours playing with their mates at daycare. But anyway, there he is, Fred, in election mode. Can we help him out? Can we come up with a slogan? I want to try and get a slogan here for Fred Nile for his campaign.